that's finally gonna probably happen?
Yeah, it's gonna happen because we're gonna start, you know, well, there's a lot of things swirling right now, but, we can't be putting as much money into stuff that should not be destroyed, you know?
Understandably, but look at the world we're living in. I think we all got a big shot at it the last 24 hours.
Anyway.
So I don't know if you saw the post, but Anderson Cooper has Heaven and her family on tonight on the show.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Turn your microphones on, please.
Okay, meeting called to order at 6:35. In attendance, we have Arden staff, Barb Russman, Heather Manda, Wendy Johnson, and Nicole Lewis. Township Representative Jack King. December meeting minutes submitted for board approval. Motion,
Motion.
second by,
Seconded.
all in favor?
Aye.
Can you make sure you're talking in those microphones? I'm still working with these things. They're supposed to be area mics. They're supposed to be just being in there, and they're not doing it. So
Is this good?
I can hear you. I can't hear anybody on that side.
Hello?
Yeah. There you
Okay.
go.
Testing.
Hello? Yeah. I never know what to do with the seconding. Can you like explain that to me? I just say like second. No one ever told me.
Yeah.
Jason always seconds, so I'm like,
Someone approves the motion, so she
Right.
catches the first, and then someone has to second the motion too.
so then moved and seconded.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all in favor.
Let me try it next time.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to remember.
Everybody, let her do it.
I want to be official.
Okay. All right. Financial status update, Jack?
Closed out the year okay, basically because Always Safe did not charge us the $6,000 for traffic control.
Wow.
And that put us almost at a break even. Noticed on the budget, we're about, once everything is calculated and everything, and I'm actually still reconciling some of the receipts that were credited to the overall budget, and that type of thing. We were right on that line. Maybe we're in the hole about $1,000. So, thank you, Always Safe. It's one of the things I can say about Bill Schifoni, that if we did pay him, that amount, he was going to give it back to us in one way or another anyway. So, he's just an incredible individual. We're starting this year. You'll notice there I have it. Our budget is going to be at $63,250. That's based on what we spent last year. Increases where I thought we should increase. I mean, we could talk about these events, things like having Optimus Prime.
Not gonna happen.
I mean, it was a good idea. We tried things. I'm open, to that. I just don't see that as a good use of that money. But I mean, that's going to be up to you how you guys want to do that. But I did set the budget this year at $63,250.
Okay.
Did you get an update on what we're able to do for fundraising? Like, because I have an inquiry that I could present if we are able to do it.
I'm sorry, what we're allowed to do.
Yeah, like if we're allowed to raise money, like remember we were going to talk about like, can we do like a fundraiser of type?
Yeah. Fundraisers are in the private sector. When you're doing things for business, that's one thing. When you're in the public venue like this, it's a little bit different. But because Parks and Rec is basically a 501c3, you're allowed to do it as long as everything goes to kind of like what we're doing with raising money as it is now, where there's donations, where we can show where that money is going to. It's not going in any one person's pocket, but it is going to make the events better. Pretty much what the letters are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep that out in front of people and saying, yeah, we're plowing this bad. This is what we're using that money for. Then yeah, we're okay.
Okay. So I just want me to do this now then, since financial, or do you want me to do new business?
You can do it now.
Okay. So I know we talked about like doing some type of like, we always wanted to go like a cookie or cake decorating contest. My cookie lady just posts that she's doing classes in the area. She comes to your home and everything. I talked to her and we would use a generations room. She would sell the tickets. They're $40 a person. $10 per ticket would come to us. Be 25 people in the class, and we would make a profit of $250. We would just need to do the generations room. She would promote it on her page. We would promote it, and the payment would go to her directly, and then she would cut us a check. So it's an option if we're interested in it. I don't know if $40 is a lot for the clientele. I was trying to think of maybe like incorporating kids into it somehow, but I just had this conversation with her, and she's interested in, putting it on. We could see how it goes and try one. And I mean, $250 is still $250. We wouldn't have to do a lot other than clean the generations and have access to it.
Can you unpack that for me a little bit? So
Yeah, I can explain a cookie class too if you need me to.
Okay.
Which they actually online seem to be like very popular. that
Yeah,
people
so
are
I'm
doing
seeing
them.
other townships offer this. So I see Peters in South Fayette. It's like learning a trade or a craft or like a night together with like friends and family. Typically it is like other places do BYOB, but I'm seeing townships aren't doing that. It's more of like a family-friendly atmosphere. So what she would do is she would bring the cookies already made and provide you with the decorating, icing, and tools, and she would teach you how to do the technique on the cookies. So it's kind of like, I know me and my friends, it's something we would do.
I've done several of them. I've done
Right.
Halloween. I did Beetlejuice. My friend, they usually we usually pay about $60 or $65.
Okay, so do you think 40?
person.
Because 40 is what she charges, and I was like, hey, like we're trying to do like a little fundraiser, and she's like, okay, well, because we were due 50, and she's like, you know what? No, I'll charge 30. You get 10 per ticket. So I kind of talked her into it already. So and she would just need extra help that she would bring with her. So
How many? So you say like $10 per person. So we'd have what, 25 people?
we'd have 25 people is the max that she could do, 20 to 25, she said. So that's a nice too, like the crowd size would be small. And we would get $10 per person. And I already talked to her about payments because I was like, we can't handle anything. No one could sign up. She would handle, the people would Venmo her their registration, and then she would give us a check at the end.
And it would be not only for, see, it's just anybody that follows her.
It would be anybody that follows her, and we would open it up on our page as well. So we would probably try to get a clientele in, of people that we know. And if we could try how one goes, and then if it's successful, do another one down the road.
How long do you think that class would be?
What do you think, Heather? Like,
They're about 2 hours and a half.
yeah,
to
1 to 2 hours.
yeah.
So we could think about day and times, and I could propose that to her based off of the availability of the generations.
We did one down in Canonsburg. We did a St. Patrick's Day one, and
Mm-hmm.
there was you do like 6 cookies. They provided the box, the icing, everything.
Yeah.
I've done cupcakes, and they usually do it around a holiday. So we could do a Valentine's Day one,
Right.
St. Patrick's Day one. When Beetlejuice was the big movie, we went to a Beetlejuice one. We did Halloween ones. We've done.
Yeah, it's like a craft situation. And we could look into other options of doing like a board or a painting type deal, because I'm seeing other townships do it and they're charging, but we will also say, proceeds, portions of the proceeds do go to Parks and Rec, kind of make it like a fundraiser situation. We have nothing to lose really, because we
Right,
have,
yeah,
if we
it's
could
all-
get generations, we just have to get 25 people, which I think word
Is
of
that the
mouth.
minimum
and-
she'll do?
Well, 20 to 25. We just want to max our profits. So we want
Right.
25 bodies in there to get our 250.
Who's your lady?
And
We've
I'll
done
send
Grammy-
everybody her
Grammys was
page.
one.
It's Cookies by Amber. She lives across from Bella Sarah. So she's local. In that plan.
You're going to put it on the text chain?
Yeah, I'll put it on there. And I've ordered cookies
Maple
off there.
Ridge.
I get all kinds of stuff off of her.
She lives in Maple Ridge.
Yeah, one of the townhouses plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just told her I was presenting it to the board tonight. We have no pressure or obligation to do it, but I just wanted to throw it out there and maybe get other ideas like that if it's doable.
Yeah, so let's talk about parameters. We could do it one time. How many things do you think we could do it for?
In like the court, like throughout the year.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to see how I'm nervous about filling the seats, but we're always surprised by what the community does. So I wanted to do, I would like to just try one and then kind of evaluate. Unless we could find like another craft one and we could set like, they make like create your own charcuterie boards. Like and I just like reached out to her blindly. Like, so if you see something posted like that, just say, hey.
You have the paint, like you said, the painting list, and they usually like sip and paint.
Right.
But
That's
I'm
the
sure
only
that
thing. I'm
somehow
trying to
they-
avoid
yeah.
alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah. So they also have those ones that are very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see if I can get generations for Valentine's Day?
So if you want to give me the options of dates, I could let her, because I'll have to see her availability.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So if you look at the schedule and
Do you want
everything.
an evening or do you want a Saturday? Or
Yeah. What do you guys think? Like timeline
when
wise?
do you normally go?
Usually on a weeknight.
Weeknight?
Yeah, weeknight or like an early afternoon type deal.
Yeah, like a Saturday afternoon, or we usually do like a Friday or at 6 o'clock or something. We would go and do them.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the different ones we've done.
Yeah,
My
you
one
know a
friend,
ton.
we've done like 8 of. We've done Christmas boards. She's a cancer patient, so she's very limited in what she can do.
microphone.
I'm talking. I was trying to find
With
here
her
quickly. Yeah,
hands.
I've done tons of them. There's 3 of us, and we go to several of them all around. Canonsburg Cake Company, we did
Yeah, I was
cupcakes
going to
there.
reach out to
We
them.
were going to go. We didn't
So I was
get
going to
around.
reach out to
I've
them
done-
and
I've
see
done
if we
down
could
there.
just do it there and if they'll give us a proceeds. So if we could do a
think they might,
fundraiser night at their place is what I'm thinking too.
You want
So
to check into that?
yeah, who contacted Canonsburg Cupcakes before? Like, does anyone have a relationship?
I did one time.
I did. I have two.
Okay, I can message them.
My nephew knows them, but it's only because the girl's dad used to be a Wendy's employee.
Right.
So
What is
it's
the
not
name of
really
the
that I
company?
know them, you know.
Oh, there's tons of them. Oh, okay. The one place we used to go was always at JD Wine Cellars over by.
Yeah, I went
but,
to that one. Yeah.
They're not there anymore, so we've gone out to their place, the 84 Wine Cellar place, which is
And then I didn't know, like, we could see how the first one goes, and I didn't know, like, if we wanted to do something gearing towards Mother's Day, you know, like a mommy and me type thing, or you know, like if they bring
I
their
like
kids,
Mommy and Me.
yeah, like if they bring their kids, we could have like we could have coloring and stuff for them, and moms could decorate the cookie. Like, I'm just trying to see what is available, and she's just starting into this too, so we could kind of like learn together. So there's like no expectation really.
And I like the idea of like a couple hour thing just to get people over here.
Yep.
And, you know,
It's unity within the community, and we're offering something new for like these the housing plan people and stuff. And then I'm also working on going to do like a yoga in the park type fundraiser as well, if we could mirror that same concept. I did one at Bedner's Farm. I think I paid $20 or whatever, but we could do the same thing, get a yoga instructor and charge extra for the ticket and then promote it, and they book through them type deal.
we have places do puppy dog yoga with our
oh, that's like
pups.
Oh, really?
And they take some of the puppies
I've never
and,
done.
you know,
That's cute.
people love it.
Yeah.
And you did the charcuterie board?
Just so you'll
No,
know,
that I didn't do.
I like the yoga in the park thing.
Mhm.
We've had
Nice.
some assertive entrepreneur types that
Nice.
would come in and have people pay them.
Mm-hmm.
We can't allow that. All right.
Right.
So, you know, we could set it up so that, you know, here again, proceeds go to,
Right.
they would get paid, but it
Same
also
thing.
Always have that hook where it's something's coming to Parks and Rec.
Correct. Yeah.
'cause
It
that
has to
fits-
be, yeah.
That fits the mission, overall vision of what Parks and Rec is about.
Correct. Do you have any of those contacts still that maybe I could like use them because they inquired to you and say, hey, like we want to set up a yoga fundraiser and kind of just spin it?
Yeah.
If you do get any your way, just
Kind of, the guy, when I told him that, you know, you can't charge people to use our park for free, that you would have to, you know, here's what we're up against, just so you'll know. Whenever somebody like Arden comes in and says, I want to rent this pavilion, he's only getting the pavilion.
Correct.
He's not getting the yard around it, which means somebody else, as Arden has found out, can come in and use that yard right up to the pavilion.
yeah.
Right? I am working against that hard right now because that should not be. You should
Right.
have ample space around it. Granted, you have the amenities and everything in the park, but you should be able to step outside of your pavilion and still be,
Yeah.
you know, amongst the people that you invited.
That's why we like getting the one clear over on the other side.
Yeah, no
of
one
the
bothers
creek,
you.
'cause
Well,
yeah.
that's what Bednar's did. We actually used a pavilion. They cleared out the pavilions. We did it on the asphalt because everyone brings their own yoga mat. It was just a really nice morning, and again, wouldn't cost us.
And that's
Much.
the difference between private and public.
Right.
You know, and that's why I want to explain to you how the rental, the pavilion rental goes. You know, we could say that, you know, this is for this event because it's Parks and Recreation.
Right. Okay.
Be advertised as such. So
Okay.
that kind of is like the umbrella that goes over everything.
Got it. Yeah, that's good to iron out. But yeah, so I'll look into that now that I know I could dabble into it, and I'll see what I could figure
The
out.
girl
But
who
those
worked
are
with
two
me
things.
at Tuesday morning in Presto, she's got the goats.
The goat yoga.
And
Yeah,
she
that
she
would be
leases
really
them
cool to
University
bring.
of Pittsburgh, and they do the yoga down there. And they take
Really?
the goats down, pick the goats back up. And I was like, when you're talking about that, I go, it'd be cool to have goat yoga.
Are we allowed to have goats in the park? Because that would no township is doing this.
Rock, pressing
Yeah,
every
Do
button
at the
to
fall festival. I mean,
we do. Arden, can we?
I mean,
I mean, once
she used
again,
to, she used to work for me Tuesday morning. This one
I
girl.
think it still comes under the umbrella of what Parks and Recreation sponsors.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Say we want to
you
do
know,
a goat yoga
yeah.
I know
fundraiser.
her big client is University of Pittsburgh, so I know they go back and forth. They did. I haven't talked to her in a year or two, but I mean, I'll send her a message, see what,
Yeah.
at least what the prices are, you know.
Yeah, look into that. That'd be really cool. Love it. Thank you.
Good idea.
Okay. Simply Christmas, somebody want to recap? Seems like it went pretty well.
I think it went well. It was busier earlier. People unfortunately showed up before Santa was even ready, so as they always do. So we had to run interference.
Santa was
there.
so overbooked this Christmas. In case
Santa was on time. The people were early, but other than Cindy,
Yes, they were at the-
Cindy Fisher stood and ran interference like you couldn't come down the hall yet. 'Cause-
Yeah.
and then I think at the later time slots, I think Arden, you did the thing.
I was real
We were
surprised to
lighter
see
there.
Santa in front of me at school.
I mean, it was a
Yeah,
beautiful
Santa
day.
was pretty surprised at seeing Santa in front of me, especially on the cover of the Washington Observer. So,
Yeah.
yeah. They didn't tell me what I was going to be doing. They just told me. They said, "Can you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can." Then I realized when I got there that I was going to be outside, all right, which I've never done before. And then, of course, the snow just kind of was icing on the cake. So it was fun.
It was good to have the generations people
Yep.
Yeah.
helping. And are any of them going to be on the board? Like we?
Yeah, where are we at with that?
Wasn't there one you guys actually
I
saw?
thought
She-
Tony
I-
wasn't Tony.
Ta-
in-
I don't
Tony.
think she wasn't interested in being on the board. She really liked. She was a school
But she
teacher.
does want to help.
See what
she
she
did wanna
told me
help.
was she said I just moved here. I live in the reserve, and she said I don't have any friends, and I want to get as involved in this as I possibly can. Music to my ears, you know. Right? But I remember she said, "Oh, I got the number." So I thought my intention was that she wanted to get involved, like on the board. So maybe
I,
we
when I
reach
talked to
back
her,
out?
she didn't.
I could be
she
wrong,
Didn't seem,
but
she wouldn't do. She wouldn't mind doing activities.
she
She
could be
liked
another
working with the
Donna
kids.
for
but-
us.
Well, maybe if we get her involved, though, then
Yeah.
she would
Right, we could feel her
reconsider,
out.
yeah, really nice lady. Really, she was a school teacher, retired.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And somebody has her contact info?
I think I do. Yeah.
I know we can get it off of
Because I was
Sean.
laughing when she was
Yeah.
leaving. I told Heather, I go, "Do you have her number right?" And I said, "Here, write it on my hand."
You have it?
Sean can get
I
it
think I
to
did
us,
the
yeah.
paper from the thing. I do. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think the kids. I think the cookies were doing well. The hot chocolate went well. Kids didn't want to decorate the tree as much as the year before.
They all wanted to keep their.
right. So
Yeah.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
if we want do a
Which was
cost
fine.
analysis, if
Which was fine.
Right.
That's okay. We just Rick put more, ornaments on the tree and made it look good. So that's okay. We'll see what maybe we can make it I don't know, more enticing next year or something.
Well,
Feedback from seniors, they absolutely loved it. I think Kenny, who was my on-again, off-again elf, he disappeared every now and then. I don't know where he went, but he floated around and he was enjoying every minute of it. I can't remember the lady that was over in the corner by the door. She loved it. And Sean wants to do more. So, be thinking about how we can include seniors and just lay it out there. I mean, the worst they're going to say is no. And the other worst part is we can get more than we can, put to good use, but they'll talk about it forever. So
It's a win for
Well,
everybody.
remember, you put me next to the 96-year-old lady who that
She was your best
oh,
friend. You
go
got
ahead,
it.
gosh,
Art,
she
go
was
ahead, tell the
awesome.
story.
That was the weirdest thing. Cole, were you here for that? So they teamed me up with this woman, Pat. She's 96 years old. I'm like, oh my God. She drives. I haven't been to the doctor in 3 years. Why do I need to? I don't take any meds. I don't take them. I'm like going, oh my God, you got to be kidding. You're 96 years old, quick as a whip. You know what I mean? So we were greeting everybody coming in, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, and she goes, you're better at this than I am. You seem like you're, whatever. So we were like, she goes, so where are you from? I said, I'm from North Strabane here, back that. And I told her all like that. And I said, she goes, oh, I live out that way too. I said, oh, yes, we're talking. More kids came in. I go, yada, yada, yada. And I go, where do you live? And she goes, on Ross Road. In my mouth, the Rosses were my best friends in high school. I used to sleep there. This was my best friend's mom.
No way.
I haven't seen her in 50 years. And she realized it. And she's going, Butchie, oh my God. And she's telling these stories. So it was a very cool, that afternoon, her
Full
grandkids
circle.
were all texting me. Her son's texting me. She sent me 2 pictures. And I guess the next day you had the Santa Claus with the whole thing and more pictures. So we kind of like reconnected with their family now. So it was really cool. But she said that that they love coming there and they love doing volunteer stuff like that. So she goes, it's a great opportunity for them to, a little resource we don't tap into that often that,
Yeah.
And she
Can't
was
have
what,
them.
92?
6.
Yeah.
96.
96.
And I think, and all these people, do they go to the
No.
the meals of the generations?
Driving.
Tell you what, that place is busy from 8 in the morning until sometimes 4 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've ever had that many seniors attend anything over
Oh,
there.
that Christmas party, it was packed.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, is somebody spiking the punch? Everybody was doing
Well, that-
line
maybe,
dances.
like-
They were all like,
Well,
When
your
we have
friend said the
leftovers
new
from events,
activity
maybe we need to
director,
like make an
wonderful.
effort
Sean
to make
is
sure they get it.
I didn't hear you. What?
When we have leftovers from events and stuff, maybe we should make sure we make an effort that they get it. So like we could have like a partnership ongoing.
Are we allowed to do that though? Because that's state run.
Oh, is it?
Here's how that works. Okay, we rent that room to the Agency on Aging.
Area of aging. Yeah.
They hire the cook, which was Sissy before, who basically ran people out of there. So who's over there now? And they're just, they're always running out of food because that's how many people come in.
That's awesome.
And it's a $2 donation. All right, it's just a donation. Some people do, some people don't. But even
Which reminds me, do I still owe anybody money?
do I owe anybody money?
I think you might owe me like
I think I owe
$8
Heather
left,
$2,
and then
don't
I'm
I?
going to send you
Or
another thing.
Barb, I owe you $2, don't I?
Don't worry about it.
It just
I have
hit
a
me.
book. It goes in the cat book.
I'll
okay.
give you that $8.
I think it's 8. Whatever
It's
Wendy took
$9
20.
because it was
Yeah.
20 and the whole thing was 29, so I owe you 9.
Yep.
Bottom line is there are so many people. This is the McDonald Cecil Senior Center.
Oh, that's
So
right.
they're coming from McDonald as well, and there's buses that bring people in. And
Oh, bless
there's just
them.
activity over there all the time, which is great to see. That's what the original intent
Yeah.
was for that room and the whole lunch and that type of thing. Now, to finish the story that Arden started, okay, Mrs. Ross, all right, is the great grandmother of Liz Ross, who's my colleague here. All right, so
Liz. that
she's
works
the
at
zoning
this-
officer here.
Coding officer.
No, any relation to Universal, like the Rosses that used to own Universal?
No,
They-
but she was a what's the funeral home?
Pardon me?
Brother's I guess
Who Ross's?
yeah. No, her brother. I mean, her married name is Ross.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, her maiden name. I don't think it was Solandra, but it's what is-
Solandra
What was the other? What's the other big funeral?
in Canonsburg or where?
Solon, Solandra?
I think it is Solandra.
No, that's
Her dad-
Solandra.
Her dad has the pharmacy on the corner as you go into Canonsburg.
That's
you know where
Solon's.
Euclid.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's
Phil
that's
Solon's.
Oh, yeah.
That's Solon. That's
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Solandra
Solon,
went to school with me.
Funeral homes. That's her brother. So,
Oh, wow.
Well, when I was a teenager, it was in the 70s, but they had a big Holstein farm with the, and we milked the cows in the morning and the afternoon, showed them at the Washington County Fair, and so it was like farm life. But I mean, I lived right over the hill with the dirt bike, and we would like 20 of us would sleep over. It was like fun, you know what I mean? But it was
Right.
just kind of but they were big back then, and but like she said they still own the property, but I think they built her a little house on the property, and she was telling me a little bit more about it, but cool. I mean, she has her wits up, but she can talk to you about everything under the sun. Amazing.
She whipped that place into shape. She was like the president of something over there for a while.
yeah.
And, just go all the time. Nice lady.
And she like I guess they do 2 days a week. They do card games.
Well, they were doing bingo today. We gotta shut the door because that bingo just echoes through the.
I
Well,
love Bing. I want
Jim's
to
the
go.
caller, so,
Well, I didn't know. What, Jim's a Vista?
huh?
You said-
No, Jim that was, Jim,
Oh, Ashley.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
I've been over there when I heard him do the calling, yeah.
He's like gum on the bottom of your shoe. Jimmy's known me since I was born.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, sorry, I didn't mean to get all.
Okay.
No, I just want to share that story because it was
That's
kind of
so
blew my
nice.
mind.
All right, guess we really should have done election of board positions first, but that's okay. Because I anticipate nominations for president,
Wendy?
second,
Second.
Second,
all in favor?
Aye.
Nominations for vice president,
nominate Nicole.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
I meant to
thank
call you today to ask you.
I know,
permission
I
first.
meant to too, I'm sorry.
I didn't want to take it if somebody wanted it.
No, we
but-
planned it.
Okay.
She's like, you gonna nominate her? I go, yeah. I go,
I said-
mental note. I go, I got to call her before because she's gonna kill me if it was.
Wendy and I will be. We're coming to the pool then this summer.
No
with
problem.
the kids.
You are very welcome to come to the pool.
Is that okay though? You're
Yeah,
okay with
that's
that?
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Okay,
And
nominations.
Barb, you pointed at me.
She was just pointing either end other than her. I got
Unless
that.
Heather, do you
not
want a
me.
break from secretary? You're so good at secretary.
I just saw your finger and went.
Nominations for secretary.
No.
Heather,
Heather, second.
seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Heather.
Heather,
Heather.
I could barely do what she does so well with all the handouts and oh my gosh.
And please, if you can think of anybody that we can try and reach out to for the board, please.
No. I guess I'll make another post
Thank you.
again. See.
Can we advertise like in the paper again?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, paper just doesn't pull people,
Or the township website, maybe.
Can we put something on the?
It's on there.
Can
Do
you
you
put
think
it
we
on
could
the
do a
thing
new
out
one
front?
though and maybe have them do something like,
The marquee.
I
Yeah,
know
nothing.
it's pretty plain
Nothing
right
will
now, like the
work.
TV, like the newspaper post, like, can we,
Well, yeah, I mean, we can do that. We can, I'll put it in the newspaper if that's what you guys want to do.
Or
I mean,
you
if there's a
sign it.
cost,
The
though, I don't
board-
want to
yeah,
do a
the marquee
cost.
out front, yeah.
yeah, that'd be
it's-
good.
Advertising for them now, I think it's $300.
Yeah, no.
And it's real small and you gotta
Yeah.
know where you're looking for and that type of thing. I would rather put it out here.
Yep.
Okay.
And can they
On
make
the
it
website?
or this?
Yeah.
Definitely on the website. It's
It needs
on
spruced
open-
up on the
open
website,
positions.
though.
It's out there right
And can we
now.
do
It's
an
just a
announcement at
standard
this
notice now.
supervisors meeting? Can they promote it? Or are we scared?
Here's what happens at the beginning of the year. This is what's gonna happen next week and your understanding of your appointment was what?
For like coming on the board?
Yeah, was it to replace or to finish Dan's?
Oh
term?
no, I had no clue. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently nobody did either.
No.
And,
It was never. I just signed up.
While I argued that you were coming on to fill a vacant position, which gives you the years and that type of thing, I was advised that you filled Dan's position. So what I'm going to need you to do,
Yeah.
What do we
I
need?
need a letter from you and a resume.
Uh huh.
Now, Tom Casiola's philosophy is if he doesn't have a majority of the board, which is 4 out of 5, not 3 out of 5, he's not going to replace anybody. All right. So it's not that you're not going to get appointed. All right. But I want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. So if you could send me, actually send Dawn a letter, CC me on it, saying I would like to continue serving on the Parks and Recreation Board for the upcoming term, and please consider my reappointment. Here's my resume.
Just her?
And we can all write reference letters.
Yeah.
Right?
I-
I mean, they never told me, and then when I came in,
Yeah.
they said, you took Glenn's place, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was doing it to be with
Yeah,
Glenn.
no clue.
And then they said, oh, no, he was gone, you're
Yeah.
taking his thing, and I go, what? So,
I think
yeah, I didn't
did
even
it-
know who Dan was. So
Yeah.
I think that Don or whoever came back to me and said I sent my letter, and he came back and said, if there's no positions, if one becomes available, I'll let you know. And then I did everything, and then finally I gave
Yeah,
up
maybe
until
it's
you
a
called
broken
me, and you're like, "Try
process."
again."
You did
Did you do a
everything right,
resume?
okay?
Yeah.
I did a resume, I did a letter,
You did everything right, okay?
I just did a letter.
I
That was
I have to
before
be
they
careful
changed. Yeah.
because this is being recorded.
Oh, that's
okay?
right.
But you did everything right.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up. As it stands right now, Wendy's term expires January 2028. Arden's is 2027. Jason, well, we're gonna appoint somebody now to, well, no, actually, his is up right now, so, and he's not coming back. Barb's is up 2028. Heather's up 2028, and Nicole, I said was up 2029, all right? But I was told that it's up 2025 because you're replacing Dan. I said, fine, then I'll just have her write a letter and say, I want to stay on the board, and, you know, because we don't have any, you know, we don't have anybody else. Plus, we have one more position that's open. So that's where it stands right now.
you just want me for an extra year. That's why you did that. No, I'm just kidding.
It works for me.
Do I get anything for time served? No.
yours is up 2075.
Yeah, this was just a test year. Yeah.
Oh, so that, I mean, that's what's going to happen at the Board of Supervisors meeting on Monday, and the reorg, because they have two meetings. They'll have the reorganization, and then they'll go into the Board of Supervisors meeting. Okay, at the reorganization, they're going to appoint all these vacancies, these boards, and that type of thing, based on, you know, who sent something in. As I told, you know, others, we can't afford to lose anybody else. All right, so, you know, if they're here, just reappoint. Tom's on board with that, but we want to make sure that several years ago, we had an issue where somebody was appointed without having a resume, and, you know, we had this, something else for the board to fight about. And, so then it was determined that there needs to be a letter of intent and a resume, along with it. So I'm just dotting the i's and crossing.
Can I just use the letter I sent originally and just edit it?
Yeah, just change it to this year, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, review the schedule for 2025. I was actually really very careful. I went through and looked when Mother's Day was and all these other things. I looked when all the other townships were doing everything. So Easter's later this year. Fishing Derby, I had 2 different dates on here, and I heard back from Jack, and he said, let's go with 5/3, so that's why I put 5/3 on here. Touch a Truck, we did move it to later in the year because the last 2 years we've had foul weather. Movie night, Community Day, this is a week after last year, so Arden can go on his vacation and not feel guilty about not being here for Community Day. Cruising Classics, that's not our event, but of course we do the concession stand. Another movie night, Fall Festival, Trail of Treats, and Simply Christmas. I moved this back a week because once again, this year Arden was like
Yep.
exhausted because Old Fashioned Christmas was the same week as we were picking.
Yeah.
So, but also this is open. I had some discussion with Jack about maybe working something out for this next year that is more, what word do I want to use?
Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, inclusive of departments. So until we address that, really, we're going to put Simply Christmas on a to-be-determined date. Is everybody good with that?
When is the Canonsburg one? Is it?
First weekend, December.
First weekend of September,
Okay,
December.
the weekend before.
December,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a problem, only because everything seems to be coming down on that first weekend
Right.
in
Yeah.
December. Cecil 3 used to have their Santa Claus, lunch with Santa Claus. Now, the tea room has kind of elbowed their way into that. That's on a Saturday. Toys for Tots has their toy drive that first Saturday. Luckily, we did Sunday this year, which was great. But there was something else going on at the time too, I believe. And everybody's trying to push towards the start of December, and we've got a little cushion in there where we could probably go mid-December and still make it happen, depending on how the dates fall. But it just seems like everything's getting bottlenecked in that first week of December. After Thanksgiving, first week of December, and people are just like, well, we checked that off the list, and that's what Wendy and I were talking about.
I mean,
Just
we-
how do we make it work with everything else that's going on?
I mean, I thought that it was a good date. I mean, Sunday was a good day to have it. If you guys are just doing it because it's old-fashioned Christmas, then, I mean, if you would like that Sunday, just do that Sunday again. I mean, you know what I mean? Don't take me out of the equation. I'm still going to be here for it, so whatever. But it made a lot of sense to have it that day. I'm trying to think, there was something else.
Well,
Sant-
originally, it was
Sant-
gonna be, Toys for Tots from 9 until noon, then Cecil 3, lunch with Santa, noon until 3 or 4, okay? Then we would roll into Sunday with Simply Christmas, right? And then there was supposed to be that tea room thing in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So that would have been 4 things in Cecil Township on the
Right.
same weekend. The tea room then decided to move theirs to Saturday, okay? Cecil 3 canceled theirs because coordination issues. Toys for Tots, because everything moved up there, they had to add almost an hour on each end of things, whether to get up there. See, Santa Claus used to go through all the housing plans and everything with Cecil 3. It started about 10:15 in the morning. By noon, Santa would end up at the fire station. The kids were there and everything. Over the last couple of years, it's gotten less and less and less because there's all these other events going on.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying about, the bottleneck in the beginning. Now, there were fewer events than first anticipated, and then people started switching those dates. So what we need to do, just like with the fall festival, just like we do everything else, we lock it in, we say, this is when we're doing it, all right? And we just, put our heads down and just keep pushing forward. At some point, people are gonna fall off and say, you know what, this is a better deal. This is a better event, because everything we do is good. And we've got that reputation. This is what Wendy and we all talked about years ago. If you build it, it'll come, that type of thing. Go big or go home. We've done that. We've got that reputation out there. They look to see what we're doing and when we're doing it, then they decide when they're gonna do theirs.
Is this a Sunday still then?
Well, it's still going to be a to be determined, so, but
Okay.
I think 12/13
It's a
is actually
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
But we can do whichever, because since it's going to be determined, we'll have another discussion on it.
I just liked having it earlier in the day, and then in case there's like a football game that everybody wants to go to or whatever.
No, I have no
I
problem.
thought it
with
was a really good time, and it was long enough. We don't have to have 4 hours, 5 hours. It was
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
2 hours was
I mean, I
fine.
wasn't here, but I agree.
It worked out good.
Yeah, I thought it worked out well.
Yeah.
I honestly, personally, I like Sunday, because I do anticipate that Cecil 3 is gonna reorganize and get back on that first Saturday in December thing. Now, it might not be me, it may be somebody else, but that is their Santa Claus suit that I've been using. So, at some point, I would have to give that back. But there's a lot of time between now and then.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I would say put in a date just to save it. Once that calendar goes out, that's what people are gonna have, And I know TBA sounds good and everything like that, but
Yeah.
let's just
Well,
put
I,
I
think
think
Sunday.
you're forgetting the other conversation you and I had.
probably.
Yeah.
Remind me.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, you remember now?
Look at that.
Okay,
And I understand.
okay. So you still want us to put a date in and then adjust later if,
12, I think you should do Sunday. I'm with Barb. I like a Sunday situation.
I like Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's less things on a Sunday morning
I like Sunday.
than there would be Saturday.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we have to wrestle with the church crowd.
Yeah.
And, 10 to noon is nice. Be better if it was 11 to 1. But that's just me.
well, I don't see where an hour makes a difference, like.
Yeah, I
mean,
feel like we
agree
could,
with you, make it
we could
after.
zero in on the time
Yeah.
when it gets closer, but I think we should set a date, like you said, especially with our letters going out and
So 12/14?
That's
Which
fine
is
with
that
me.
Sunday?
That's a Sunday, yeah.
So you mean about like including the church, like the,
No, huh, that's not.
okay,
not-
because I say Sunday's bad for them probably.
Yeah, yeah,
We're not gonna bend to, a church. Because just like this time, everything was a go and then, oh, we have something.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't help you out.
Yeah.
They're gonna wanna make it their own, and they don't wanna come along and help. That was the original idea. They were gonna come and help us, but the last couple of years, they wanted to make it uniquely theirs. And it's like, we're not doing it.
No.
And then I don't have the solution, but the movie on August 23rd, I thought we got a little lower attendance last time because it's back to school that week. So
Yeah.
that's but I don't have an alternative date for you.
And last year, Ken and Mac went back on
The 20
8/22, so it's right. that
Right,
is
it's like
probably the
2 days
weekend they
before,
go
so
back,
we
yeah.
did have a lower crowd for that one. The second movie night.
Well,
It
we
was
could
like
do,
back to
like,
school week.
8/10?
Yeah, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Whichever
would be better.
Saturday is.
Yeah.
When's cruising class?
8/17.
Right, so
Gives
that's
us the
back to
week in
back.
between.
Yeah,
We
that's a
really-
lot.
Cruising Classics is kind of an easy
Yeah,
one,
I'll be out
though.
of town for Cruising Classics. I always am, so because it's the same date as last year.
Okay, so movie night's gonna be moved to whatever that.
But that gives you 2 weekends in a row, though, with an event, though. Is
Usually,
that?
I think the last, it has been.
Oh, has it been? I think it was like that.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years I've been here, yeah, they've.
Okay. If that's okay, yeah.
Actually, wasn't there one year we had the movie night the night before Cruising Classics?
Yes.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
So as long as there's a week in between. I'm
Okay,
good.
so you guys are good
A
then.
Saturday and a Sunday, yeah.
That was not good.
Okay, so 8, 9 for the movie, I think. And then, Jack, do you want us? I know we're going to get to the sponsor conversations. I think we should try to get the movie night sponsored by people like McDonald did. Like this movie night was sponsored by this realtor or so and so. I'd like to try to take that on, but I don't know. What are we thinking on that? Or do we want to go back to not paying for the movies or?
I think we did better with the better movie selection.
I do
though.
too,
I think,
yeah.
I know it was
Yeah,
300 and some
I-
bucks, but I think that.
We had a
made
lot more people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah,
newer
I mean,
movie was a big selling
I
point.
thought, having the games and everything with kids was great until.
Yep.
We need to pick up the stuff before the movie
Yes,
starts. and
at
bring it
dusk.
in.
Right.
Yeah, they need picked up.
Exactly. So.
We learn.
We learn as we go, but, the better the movie, I think the more people that will come.
Okay.
And they're relatively inexpensive. I mean, we did what? 2 out of 3 movies for about $600.
Right.
And, did we make that back at the concession stand? Close, close.
And that's the
okay.
goal. Like, we're not trying to like be rolling in money. We just want to break even, really.
But there again, it's relatively new the way we're doing it. So as it catches on, saying, hey, you know what, they're not playing out of date movies. They're playing current movies.
Correct. We'll get a bigger crowd.
And I think we have a good enough reputation with Swank. Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we could say, hey, we want to see this, and this year.
Right. I was thinking, should we start getting on that?
Yeah. What do you think, Wendy?
I totally agree. I liked having the newer movie. We'll cover it somehow, right?
And if
We
you,
always
if
do.
you could get a letter, we could.
Yeah.
If there's somebody you think that like, I was thinking of that realtor who donated the grill. That was
Fun.
probably the same price as the movie.
Yeah.
If we could just take something like, if someone's like, hey, I'm going to do a donation. Well, actually, we're looking for 2 people, or we could even put that on our page. We're looking for sponsors, whatever. But
Yeah. Let's keep range, gateway, and always safe close, and let's use them as a last resort.
Yeah, like those. That's like we
Give
could
us
tier
so
them,
much money.
right?
Yeah,
and
I'd like to get some
and
more
even
people
Billy
involved.
Ann's, like she does so much for us.
Yeah.
So
She's over
I'd like to
the
put
top.
her up there.
Yep,
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
You
she's
know.
over the top with
yep,
everything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to get others involved, so.
Yeah. But if you want to make a letter or something like that, and if you want to, if there's somebody you want to pinpoint, I'm happy to reach out or whatever.
Okay. All right. So moving on to that thought about sponsors, I gave you a copy of the original letter, and I just kind of felt it was time to change this up some. As we get bigger, having to work with all these different signs and the different sizes and all that, you know, it's getting to be really hard to coordinate everything. So my thought was, moving forward, let's have our sponsorship levels, and for the fall festival then, like we can do one sign that's like diamond sponsors, and then put any of the diamond sponsors, their logos and stuff on that sign, and just have one sign hanging for diamond sponsors. And the same thing then with platinum, gold, whatever. So then instead of having all these individual signs piling up on us, and I'm assuming like if we had a diamond sponsor sign, like if this diamond sponsors change next year, some way that could be just done over with the new diamond sponsors.
Yeah, they can do stickers, and that's what we did when we added on people after like a sign was done and we got sponsors. Like they can make a sticker that goes over top on that sign.
What are we looking
Yeah,
at? What
it's
other townships
complicated
are
with all
doing?
the signs. The thing is now we have all these signs.
Like
Yeah,
a
but-
Velcro thing that we could.
The thing
take
of it
off.
is, there's such a mixture too, though, that it
Yes.
doesn't look good, you know,
Yeah.
so. What's everybody's thought on that part of this?
Be easier.
I
I don't
just-
know what the sponsors would think of it. Like, I
Yeah.
think
But that's
they
what
like
everybody
seeing-
else does.
Yeah, I'd
If
like
you go
to
Old
mirror
Fashioned
what other
Christmas
people
or
do.
anything, there's,
Yes,
you
I
know,
saw that, Wendy.
Yeah.
My only thing is everything is last minute, and that's when I hate the crunch part of everything.
Exactly.
Like remember we had people switching everything and people adding on, and I think we need to set our boundaries
Yep.
with not having to add things in last minute. That's
Yep.
my only
I agree.
thing.
So that's one of the things I'm trying to get away from with here too. The other thing is, you see I did two letter versions, a non-Cecil business version, which would be businesses that we're trying to get to support us that also support like all these other parks and just don't, for some reason, recognize Cecil Park, and then the Cecil business version, because, you know, we all know that South Point thinks they're in Cannonsburg. So I really want to reach out to the South Point businesses as you're a Cecil business, we're Cecil Parks, you know, could you, so hence the Cecil business version. Now, you see I added two things then for the Cecil business version, which we have to talk about. Community Day. We started to have success this year with having businesses, having the booth with something interactive for the kids. And of course, we have the children's thing then. So, you know, I put on here as a Cecil business that we invite them to participate in Community Day. Is everybody good with this?
Yeah.
And then they can let us know if they're, you know, they can email us and let us know.
Yeah, because it was a little blurry this year, but I think we were feeling it out.
Yeah, yeah. And then the same thing, I thought, why not put on here for Trail of Treats? You know,
Yeah,
pointing out
that
they
was
can host a
successful.
spot. So those are the changes I made for the Cecil Businesses version.
I like that.
Is everybody good with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Looks good.
Did you have any thoughts, Jack?
No, I like that.
So then for the non-business version, still, you know, no signage, as far as, you know, it would still just go on a diamond sponsor, platinum sponsor, just like the others. I just did not include pointing out their Cecil business and then the community day. And that doesn't mean we won't reach out to the couple different places that came in for community day this year because
Like the
they
Jump
did come.
Bunch, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, we want to target Cecil businesses since it's a community day. So everybody's good with that too?
Yeah.
Looks
Okay.
good.
Then last year, when we sent the letter out to Range, they came back to us and asked us for something more specific. So instead of doing this version for Range, I went ahead and created a version just for them, where I went in and showed how we used their funds last year. Then what we are requesting is an increase for this year, and then new totals. So last year, we requested, when they asked for this type letter, we requested 8,500, which was up 1,500 from the year before, and they ended up giving us 10,000. So this year I added 3,000 up to 13,000. So if you look at this, is there anywhere where you feel we should adjust what we're increasing? I mean, obviously for Fall Festival, we could request 10,000 and still spend it, but, you know, we have to be reasonable.
Yeah, I don't have that one, but
Oh, you don't
Yeah, I
have-
think
I
it's a
think
good
if you
breakdown.
ask, there's a chance you'll get it. Why not ask?
Do you want to throw in the movie nights? And no, because we don't want to get them. 'Cause
Yeah.
Those are so minimal.
Yeah,
That's okay, I don't want to take the last one.
there's another one over there, isn't there?
It should be one
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
So did you get a chance to look at this one, Jack?
Looks good.
I did not read that one.
Okay.
I did. I just noticed it's written to Christina, but that's who your only contact is, right? It's not like a generic.
We have a lot of contacts over there. Christine happens to be
The last one that we were.
what Laurel used to be, right? So Christine, and then there's Kylie and a few others. But Christine Moore is on the gifts.
Right. She did the glow sticks for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just make sure when we send it that's the only thing I had that I saw on
Yeah.
it.
She's the one that actually came back last year asking for this letter. So
Okay,
that's why I'm
great.
addressing it to her.
Perfect.
So is everybody good with this letter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks good.
Yes.
Okay. Today, I also sent Jack the letter to send to Washington Financial requesting the tent for Fall Festival. So that's been done.
That will go in tomorrow's mail, all right? Let's remember that it was sent out this early, because I'll forget. And, I'll put a copy in the file. I already started the Fall Festival files, and that'll be the first letter in there. But when it comes down to it, just remember, we did send it. We've had some issues before where, who said it, it used to be always Teresa did all those. Now I guess that's all on my plate, so, it is gonna go out tomorrow.
Okay. Generally, they don't get back to us till like summertime as to, yes, you got the tent and all that, but the person who actually handles that was in my high school graduating class, so, I'm sure we're set for the tent. And it's been how many years now?
Yeah, a lot of years. Well, they used to do the tent before the stage was, that's what the Tambourine dance under, because they needed some type of cover, and it was the Washington Financial tent. So we're talking late 80s, early 90s there.
And at some point, I expect him to retire. I mean, we're 71 years old after all. But he's still working. Huh? Yeah, really. Thorough enjoyment of life. Except for all the times you end up in the hospital. Sign Up Genius. I talked to Jack. We're going to actually go with Sign Up Genius for our events this year. So I'll get Jack the information to go ahead and get that set up. Okay?
Perfect.
We still go with that?
How many
Okay.
logins do you want?
Generally, the three of us and you were, Heather, Nicole, me, and you were the only ones that ever logged in.
Yeah,
I mean, we shared everything with everybody, but people did not log in.
because I'm getting stuff now from them. Yeah, we can hammer out the details, but let's just use that throughout and see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to mention, while you're talking about these events, what are we gonna do for Gianni's, for always sending out the, are we gonna continue with the flyers on the pizza boxes? What events do we wanna do it for? Those are, some of the things as we talk about these events, we wanna consider, how we're gonna advertise it. I think sending out on pizza boxes is a fantastic idea. I mean, they do 200 to 300 pizzas a week. I was giving them 500 flyers, and the last time he said, I can't do 500 in a week. And I said, that's fine, I understand now, so I can cut it back or we can start earlier, whatever
Yeah.
you wanna do, but, we also have to think about doing something for them,
Yes, absolutely.
advertising or, now I did talk to his wife
Amy,
about the, what's his name?
Amy or
Amy,
Paige.
About Amy,
Yeah.
about the QR code.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way here.
Yeah, and, my intention was to have Jason do one before, he left, but, we can still make that happen. They keep insisting that there's something by the tennis courts that we can put that in glass, but it's actually, the thing right at the entrance, and that's not what it was designed for. So
Yeah.
I've gotta come up with something else.
Do they get for like fall festival, do our vendors get like a welcome package? Can we put the QR code in there? Say, hey, if you're setting up Friday night, this place will
Well,
bring
they,
you.
Well, yeah, I'm
they
hoping
were
we could get in
interested
on that.
Remember,
Yeah.
we talked a touch base about them possibly having a tent set up for setup. And they were gonna be.
Or
able-
like we'll get
people-
pre-orders or
People
something.
could, they said that they've done them before where they have the pizzas all right there.
Yeah.
Or we could call, like a
We'll
vendor
have time
could call.
slots and they could put
And they would
in.
have delivered up, something like that.
We've got a warmer in the concession stand.
Yeah.
It sits back there. I'll have Rick or somebody rewire that thing, because that wire is really bad. But, they have plenty of time now to do it. Remind me, I gotta tell you about the Coke coolers too.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, we could do that. We could easily do that. I think that's a good idea. Let's make sure that we're not, upset Billy in.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
Everything that she does. So let me broach that subject with her. I gotta go down and talk to her anyway. I'll talk to her about that. We'll see if we can work in Gianni's floor the night before.
For setup.
And yes, there is a packet. We've been building this packet over the years that we usually send everything electronically first, about, a week out. But then we also have been handing them stuff as they're coming in. And that QR code would be ideal because they have the phone, they have the QR code, they can do it. And if they're right there at the concession stand, or it's right there in the in the warmer, then they can make it happen.
I know they're on board for however we figure it out. They said that they're like, I said nothing's set in stone, just ideas, trying to get you involved.
I think Gianni's on Friday night for pizza for setup.
Yeah, and I think
Great
I like a
idea.
pre-order
I
option.
brought up like Cole did. I said when we were there, they brought fish sandwiches. Remember? And
Yeah.
I said, and that's like a great idea. But you forget about the vendors that were there at 3 o'clock.
They were
setting up
starving,
and-
yeah.
For us.
That was her dad's fault.
Oh yeah.
He brought
that's
us
right, that's
fish,
right.
yeah.
I knew you were involved in it somehow.
Well, we had to eat.
Yeah. No, but I mean-
But no, and then everyone was like, "Is there anything at the concession stand that's open?" And I was like, So it was it's
fish
a good
sandwiches
idea.
are
I think
really
that's a
good.
They
good
hit the
idea, and
spot.
That's a nice way to thank them.
Yeah.
Now, are we doing anything? I know our goal is I would like to do more concession stand to make more profits this year. Are we still on board with that? Because I know you're going to talk to Billy. So, do we want to review what we want to do concession stand for? Because
Yeah, one of the things the board expects from us, as, the township manager expects, is not that we make a lot of money, but at least try to break even with what we spend.
Mhm.
Granted, most of that money is from, donations and that type of thing. I'm still in the process of, separating the donations, what we spend on donations versus what, actually came out of, Parks and Rec budget. And it's, what we want to do is we've been lacking in the concession stand area. At one point, back in the early 2000s, they were making $10,000 to $15,000 at the fall festival at the
Right.
concession stand alone. All right. Now, we haven't upped our prices significantly. We're not matching the $16 hamburger price that a lot of these food trucks are, and I'm never going to do that. But we've got to be smart about this too. So if we increase the prices a little bit, right, and I understand you want to lean heavily on volunteers, which is fine, but we also want to make sure that we have adult supervision with some of these. It's that balance, and it's more of a planning thing than anything else. What I would like to see is a little more revenue coming in from the concession stand, right? right? Yes, it's hard work, okay, I get that. It's time consuming, yeah, we have to clean up after, I get all that. But, we take that money and we plow it back into something else. So, whether that's volunteers, supervised volunteers, and whatever, maybe it's the Girl Scouts volunteering for, a shift, and Boy Scouts, and that's fine, fantastic. It's just a matter of, we've got to increase the revenues in that area. That's really the only place that we make money, especially if we're gonna be giving stuff away for the kids, for free, so.
Right.
I think the one thing this year too, that we had, because we got hurt with the Cannon Mac volunteers this year,
Yeah.
we had more older people come back to volunteer,
Yeah.
which was great.
Very
And
good.
with creating a relationship with the senior
Them.
center,
Yeah.
I think that gives us hope too of being able
Right.
to have some more
Well,
older volunteers in there.
I was thinking of the Easter egg hunt because I was going to request the cookies for Eaton Park because they love a long notice. Are we going to have water for the Easter egg hunt this year? Because it's later.
That is weather dependent,
Okay.
and that's the problem. They will
Right.
not turn that water on if there's the slightest chance of frost.
Mhm.
Because here's what happens. If any of those pipes freeze, they have to dig up that whole thing to find it. And that sets us back,
Right.
significantly. That's one of the reasons I wanted the fishing derby, more into May.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do much with, Easter egg hunt. Now, just like we did the ice, which I take responsibility for it, that was a failed venture. We learned something from that. We could do something with, there are companies that provide water, that we could replace.
Like
what
a
we
water
can't.
buffalo.
Right. We could do something along those lines and fill that hole. So, but
Okay.
see, there again, if the water's not on, the bathrooms aren't running.
Correct.
We have to have the
Yeah.
pool on, which opens a whole nother,
Mm.
that's the only drawback for the Easter egg hunt.
Well, I'm camping for Easter, so it's going to be warm.
See, our campground usually April 1st is when the water gets turned back on, so
Yeah,
that's probably
we're
a great
going
date. I
camping.
think would be good.
Well, yeah, this came down to the head of Public Works, who said, the forecast says there's a chance of frost, we're not turning anything
Right.
on.
Makes sense.
So, the 1 year they didn't turn it on until mid-April.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 4 years ago.
So we'll keep. Yeah.
And in case you don't know, we have a new public works director. Bill has retired.
Oh,
Oh, do we?
okay. I'll still request the cookies because I
Yeah.
think that saved us. We were able to pass those out.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And we have, we have to work on our packets with the Canonsburg Cup. We did that for Easter, right? Canonsburg
The
Cupcake
coupons.
and
Yeah, we do need to
Chick-fil-A
get
and Raising
because
Cane
they
and all
love
the-
notice.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just starting
Yeah.
to think maybe I need to.
One question before we move on. So, as far as the fishing derby is concerned, I gotta start putting out, for the permits and everything. So it's same as last year?
Yeah.
I mean, just go through the process and, they probably up the price on fish again this year.
I know.
Do we have enough water in the streams?
Yeah. What's
All the holes are plugged right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, DEP fixed that probably about 2 weeks after it happened. We haven't had any problem. It's higher than it's been in a long time, so those pools are there. It's just a matter of, let's see how long,
Do you want to maybe we could stock later in the day? Will that help the fish stay closer? Because I know we did like midday.
See, that depends on them.
Right. So
I mean,
if you're
the-
talking to them, yeah.
We can ask them
Uh-huh.
because one year a couple years they brought the big truck,
Mhm.
right? And they had stops along the way. Last year they brought a smaller truck,
Mm-hmm.
and if they bring the smaller truck, it's more maneuverable. It doesn't cost as much to get
Right.
it there. All right, they'll still bring the same number of fish, but what they'll do is they'll come straight here.
Mm-hmm.
And we could ask, can you do it later in the day? What I
Right.
don't want to do is try to jam it in
Day
first
of.
thing in the morning,
Right. Yeah.
the day of.
Mm-hmm.
With the way the DEP did that project out there are the separate pools, right, that I'm confident most of the fish aren't going to swim downstream overnight.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm getting a couple extra hours on them making their way down. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would be a difference, but
what I'm going to do is I'm going to check in to see if I can put a net right across the stream at the corner of our property.
there we go.
Just till the end of the fishing derby.
And my dad will be up that weekend 'cause it's my daughter's birthday,
Okay.
so he'll be here.
I tell you what, your dad
Yeah.
He'll be putting the net in. So if you
If
get the green
they ever
light,
move
he'll
back
put
to
it
this
in.
area, he's
Yeah.
on the board.
He's,
by the way.
he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he can't wait for the fishing derby. So
Okay, the agreement, I sent Jack and Arden a preliminary, because we know we're gonna make changes to it this year. I sent them a preliminary version today for them both to look at before we move on with it. So when I hear back from them on, their recommendations, then I'll get that redone again and sent out to everybody. Okay?
Yeah, basically, we had to take a good hard look at the application and, adjust, because, I mean,
Mhm.
we're low all the way around, and while it's a great idea, we're starting to attract the troublemakers.
Mhm.
And, I had my hands full with them, and I take responsibility. I set the one situation up, it's my fault, and, I've got some ideas for the fall festival. When it comes time, I'll lay them out for you, but, we're getting the ones that really like to argue. One lady actually,
right.
she was offered to be moved 4 times.
Mhm.
She waited till almost the end of the first day and then demanded her money back. And it's that type of contentiousness. All right, we've done everything we could to help her. So it's a matter of if you raise the price, there's the perception of quality that's built into it because they're paying a higher price. And you got to admit, this is one of the best festivals around.
Mhm.
Right? We've been working at it enough. We know how to deliver quality, and we've done that year after year. Now what we have to do is we have to bring those prices up to match the quality that is inherent in what we do. So, and that's really what Wendy's talking about. So.
Okay?
Yeah, I sent you that a little bit of
Yeah.
that to take a look at, and I ended up calling like 3 or 4 vendors just to pick their brain and say this was what would you think twice? And they were absolutely not. This is one of the best festivals, and they're not like. And Canonsburg, my one friend that works down there, is that they're thinking about bringing theirs up to 4.
I do think that's ridiculous.
And I said, "You got to be kidding me!" She said, "Nobody flinched, and they had a waiting list for $250." I mean, it's a great show for me, but depending on the weather and stuff like that. But,
Right,
get
weather's
bunged.
always a factor.
but if it would have been a warmer day, and I'm not sure if I would have been very happy with. Anyway, I just like listening to you. You were like the board wants to see us try to get more money back into the. You know what I mean? And I just think like 100 vendors adding another $10 onto it. I just think that I think we're losing out on revenue. Just personally, I know that you have a lot more things you
Well,
have to
what
do,
I
but-
sent you wasn't $10
No,
overall.
it was not. No, you sent me for 90.
Yeah, but I moved the food trucks up 50%.
Yeah. But I said I think we should do the grab vendors at 100. But
Well, I'm fine with that.
yeah, I mean, that's why I sent you that thing from Swickley,
Yeah.
because Swickley, it's a 1 day, 10 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and vendors are $100 for 1 day, and they have 175 vendors there for that day. So we're not charging 250, but I think people will happily pay $100 to be part of one of the best festivals. Personally, I'm just saying that, but
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, okay.
So, like I said, we're looking at all that. We're looking at the agreement overall, and I'll get it out to you then as soon as we've gone through and made the changes we want to make. Okay? Any other new business?
Are we doing anything? I know, because we're going to still review the concession stand, and when we're doing that, have we thought about because I know we weren't successful with the Kona ice truck. We tried it, but I was thinking for the Easter though, it would be nice to have some type of coffee truck, because like a specialty coffee drink situation, like maybe adding in something like that to our events, like something we can't offer, but it won't take away from our food,
I
like a
second it.
drink option.
Second it.
Yeah. So, but we would need to charge that truck a fee to come to this event, whether it be $50 or whatever our food truck thing is going to be. That's just something I wanted to bring to the table. That is an easy way to get the moms happy with their coffee, and then a couple bucks for us.
You're talking about Easter, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking Easter
Morning
primarily.
thing.
Yeah, and even touch a truck, like a coffee situation. even in simply Christmas, I know the crowd's not as big, but I've seen little coffee carts and stuff like that. So just something to kind of think about. Specialty coffees are all the rage. I don't even drink them, but I'll drink an iced tea. I know, I got to get in a coffee, but I like tea.
I don't like coffee.
I don't drink
Yeah,
coffee.
I don't drink it.
but a lot of people love like this roaming bean food truck. Everybody follows. I would love to get them.
Yeah,
like,
it is
like
very big.
they advertise where their location is, and people flock to them. I don't know actually. I could look into that. It's called Roaming Bean. It's like a very trending coffee shop.
They
Like
do more than coffee too, though, don't they?
I don't know because
It's
when
like
I
a
was
it's like a rave party. You don't know where it's at until it's-
right, and then like I'm at the gym and they're like, "Do you guys know Roaming Beans down the street?" And everyone's like, "Okay," and then like everyone went. Like I didn't know. Like and they post their location, so it's like real. It's pretty cool. But I just wanted to get that on the table. I would like to include some trucks like that, and then also get a fee from them.
There says serving Venetia, PA, so I'm assuming
Yeah, they're local then.
they are out of Peters Township area.
What is the company name again?
Roaming Bean.
Yeah.
Roman Bean?
Yeah, look. Now that I said the name, you'll see it because like
How
it's
much do they charge? Like,
the bougie prices. I'm sure. Yeah. They were at the VFW parking lot the one Saturday, across from Heisler's over there. But yeah, something to think about. We could maybe mull that over, and then we could discuss the next meeting. And then you had a coffee person too, your friend.
Mud puddles.
Mud Puddles. How did they do when
Good.
they did good? Yeah.
And they do like seasonal stuff too, like they were gonna do like a hot chocolate
Right.
thingy for that.
Yeah, I just
one,
think
too.
like that doesn't take away from our food production. And we could even tell them like, hey, no food. Like Roaming Bean was, or your guy was willing to do that. But just something to think about. And then we don't have to like even muddle with coffee. We don't really sell a lot of it. And it's a lot to make.
A lot of people don't like coffee, but the ones that do, like I don't mind spending
Right.
extra to get
There'll be a line.
Yeah.
And it helps our younger clientele at the events, I guess.
I mean, for some, coffee's an experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. Definitely local though. For Christmas, they had peppermint, salted caramel, cinnamon swirl, caramelized chocolate, hazelnut, gingerbread waffle cone, campfire s'mores, gingerbread streusel, and butter pecan.
Yeah, like,
I could probably even drink those.
right. Yeah, I mean, I might try it.
dessert.
But yeah, that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Because I know we were like, you were talking about the food trucks in the park when we were thinking about that. Do we have any movement on like, wasn't it like a licensure issue you had with, like if we would have the food trucks come just like a random like Friday evening to do like a food truck night at the park, kind of what Wendy was doing over in Lawrence.
Yeah, I wrote an ordinance back in it is an ordinance in 2021 for food trucks that would allow this type of thing.
Mhm.
And it never went anywhere. Right now, we do not have anything that prohibits or restricts food trucks.
Yeah.
I could see them coming in and say, here's what's gonna happen. If they see one, then we're gonna have copycats.
Correct.
We need some way to regulate them.
Yes.
So it would have to be like a planned event
Mhm.
where they're invited, so that we can say, well, you know what, they were invited, but you weren't, you know.
We could get you on this date. Like we have availability for here. Yeah, it's kind of, and then of course we would charge a fee. So what that fee is, I don't know, but that's money, costs us nothing, brings people to the community. People are at the park, Saturday nights in the summer, it's packed.
Yeah, and that's, we need to capture that on.
Yes.
Yeah.
As well as anybody.
Yeah, I would go down for a food
Anything
truck
like
in a
that
park.
we advertise needs to say Cecil Township Parks and Recreation Board sponsors
Yes.
to make it very clear that we're in control.
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know if we want to maybe get a schedule and try that, maybe just 1 or 2 nights, whatever you want to do,
We get a list of food trucks that are available.
that we want to
I happen
approach.
to have that list.
Wendy is the pro on this. That's. I was like, this will be too easy. Like, why aren't we getting our hands on something like this? Because people want to do it, and we could provide that platform for them while making a buck.
And see, what that'll do is draw more people into the park.
Correct. And that's our goal here on this board.
Yep.
As a side note, they're not sure what they're gonna do with Public Works building down here.
Mhm.
They may turn that into parking, which would be ideal.
Yes.
Because that'll give us another 70 parking.
Wow, that would be cool.
They have to pave it, the whole 9 yards, there's nothing definite.
Mhm.
They've got issues on, I mean, the back wall's leaking, the roof is leaking, they don't wanna put the money into it, that type of thing. So it may end up being an additional parking spot, which would be ideal for this type of thing.
That
Right.
would be phenomenal.
And
Uh-huh.
bring a lot more people in.
Yes.
Another thing I just want you to, I'm just throwing it out there, it doesn't have to be this year. There's been some talk about, maybe once or twice a summer, flea market type thing.
Yes.
Where maybe it's only the outfield of
Yeah.
the ball field, one day.
One table. Bring your own table.
Right, I mean, $10, $15,
Yeah.
sell whatever, but once you're done, get it out of here.
They're very successful.
Can we add that onto Community Day or no? Do we have the room?
Well, Community Day, we wanted to let
We wanted
the
to support the
businesses-
vendors and the businesses, yeah. But no, I envisioned a flea market, and I think that would be really
No,
great.
I-
Of course, weather
Now, would
permitting
that be to our benefit or to the townships?
Yeah, that would be.
for us.
I'm all in.
That's the thing, that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys first and say, hey, this could be a Parks and Rec, event.
Mhm.
Because there's such a following for this type of thing.
Yep.
And with that kind of a park out there, I mean, we can.
Why
we can
not?
Leverage the length of that thing, especially along the path, the walking path. Similar to what we already got the plan for the fall festival.
Mhm.
We use the same plan for this type of event, right? And the thing about it is, the controls would be, if you bring it in and you don't sell it, you gotta take it. with
Yeah.
You will be
I mean, it's on
fined.
them.
It's
Yeah.
almost like a community yard
We're
sale.
just giving them a
would be.
place where people can gather to buy
A lot of
from.
people, and then
then we
maybe
could
other
use-
people in the township too could have yard sales that day too. So like you could start here and then go to the others. You know how like they have
You
a
want to make it
trail.
like Route 231 that goes all the way from here, all the way down through Tennessee.
But that's when you could bring in the food trucks too. That's
Yeah.
when.
Well, we
people-
could definitely have a food truck at the flea market.
Or
come on,
concession stand too.
concession stand can be open.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe can we look at a date maybe for the flea market idea, like next meeting, just maybe see.
We could even mention it early. And
Yeah,
let people
so
start,
people could start
hey,
saving their
save your
stuff.
knickknacks, save
Spring,
your,
I think
you know,
springish, like cleaning.
treasures or whatever.
Yeah,
Spring
I
cleaning's a
love it.
good time.
yeah,
I think that's like one of the best ideas I've heard.
yep.
I love that idea.
I mean, I'll have a table. I got my kids' stuff, so.
Thank John Kaufman for that. John Kaufman's our, he's our cleaning person around here, and his mind's going all the time. And he goes, hey, Jack, yeah, John, he goes, I got an idea, okay? What about a flea market? I said, tell me more. And for an hour and a half, he sat there and laid out this thing. I said, you know what, that is a great idea. Let me throw it to the Parks and Rec board, see what they think, all right? And then we could sit and pick his brain,
Yep.
because
Yeah,
he's genius up here. He's phenomenal.
We used to go to Trader Joe's all the time and have a table.
oh, me too. My dad always did it.
Trader Joe's or Trader Jack's?
Trader Jack's.
Trader Jack's.
I think $15 a table is reasonable. Now, would we provide the tables or they bring their own table?
I say
They
it wrong.
would.
I say it wrong every time.
Yeah,
That's like me in Cool Valley and Cool Springs.
Right.
4 from the fire department.
yeah. So they provide their own table and everything. We provide the spot and where
A lot
they
of people
could
can
go.
bring their own table if you
Right,
know,
that's what we just said. Yeah.
or a clothes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about it because I love
Weather
flea
permitting, and then we
markets.
could have a rain date. Let's set a date and then a rain date, and then that way
I'm
we
good
know we
with
can
that.
get rid of their stuff.
Okay, anything else? Great ideas?
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah. Meeting adjourned at, who can see the clock?
7:52.
Thank you.